Hello, beautiful people. I hope that you're all doing so well. I hope that you're thriving. I hope that you're taking care of yourself. And most importantly, I hope that you are having a fabulous, I think it's the second week of Feb. Yeah. I hope that you're having a fabulous second week of Feb. If you didn't know where you were and who you're listening to, you're currently here with me in the car listening to the Doing Life with Love and Magic podcast. I am your host, Ndwenhle, and this is the space whereby I like to chat shit. Where I like to share my life's perspective as I navigate clumsily through my 20s and through this life. Oh my gosh, I thought I was doing away with that line, but apparently today it's come back. But essentially, this is the space whereby I just share my learnings as I navigate through this life. And if there's anyone that takes anything away from it, whether it's learnings, what to do, what not to do, that sort of thing, then I have done my job. But if you don't take anything away from it, that's okay as well. Please find something that does resonate with you, because life really is too short to be spending time listening to or spending it with people that don't really resonate with you. So do what's best for you, and this is what this is all about. It's just about discovering what is the best for us. How do we navigate the trials and tribulations of life, like with a somewhat positive outlook and mindset. We don't always get it right, okay, but how do we approach life in that way so that we can attract as much good to us as possible, where possible? I feel like I just said that twice. But anyway, hi. Happy Sunday, dear people. I am currently in the vehicle outside of my family home. And it's been a week. It's been quite a hectic week, to be honest with you. I feel like things at work are really ramping up. And I've really been doing my utmost best to try incorporate some sort of balance into my life. But not like work-life balance type situations, just more like, how do I bring in more mental wellness, well-being, preserving my sanity and trying to be a good person as much as possible throughout. I think that's kind of like the theme for Feb, is just how do we center ourselves? That's the word I'm looking for. How are we centering ourselves during the month of love? Because I just think it's one of the most important things to do when you are developing your relationship with self. It's just how do you ground yourself, and how do you bring yourself back to you during times where it's a little bit tricky and a little bit stressful. And I feel like already the year has started off on a weird foot. There's some weird shit that's happening, and I feel like we just need to take the time to, cultivate awareness for what's going on inside of us, and that sort of thing. So I'm going to take you through a couple of things that I've been finding extremely helpful during this month to kind of bring me back. And yes, of course, I am still in the learning phases of this, and it's stuff that I really want to be a lot better and more mindful of, as we navigate through the year. It's not necessarily something I'm just trying out for a month and then peace out, we're done. I want it to be something that I do on a more longevity basis, if that makes sense. So, let's get into it. So, just to give you a bit of context, if it's the first time that you're listening to this podcast and you don't know, what I'm about, mentally and all of that, I find that, in previous years, right, what I found is that it's very hard to, come back home and be a nice, loving, open person to, my dearest family members. And it's easy for me to do that at work, because I feel like I'm on at work, and whatever energy that I was cultivating when I was at home, it comes out during a workspace. Even if I've had not much sleep, right? But by the time I get home, I'm completely drained. I literally do not have the energy to do a lot, and it's been an ongoing battle to try find the balance and the centering. So I feel like I have energy to do things that I actually like and actually develop my relationships with my family deeper. I feel like over the past couple of years, there's been a little bit of distance, and as much as possible, I'm trying to close that distance because I don't want to like not have fruitful relationships and stuff. And even in my more personal life as well, I just find it hard to be like tapped into what everyone is doing. And so I feel like that's definitely something that I need to work on and need to become better at, because like, how do I expect to maintain relationships with my loved ones if like I'm also not even paying attention to my relationship itself, or I'm not prioritizing those relationships because I'm feeling like I'm so depleted of my general energy. So we're always on a mission to find the things that work for us and make us feel good on the inside. So that's kind of like what the context is. There's another bit of context that I needed to yeah. So on top of that, I just feel like I work in a very high pressure environment, and as a result, over the couple of years, I've developed very interesting reactions, and which I'm trying to learn more about, and I'll get into like what I'm doing to try and understand that a little bit more. But basically, I've recently discovered that I've developed some sort of like panic attacks. I want to call them panic attacks or anxiety attacks. It's just like they come at random times. Like I freeze in the moment. I feel like I can't breathe, and my gut instinct is to get up and walk around. So I've been trying to find different ways that I can cope with something like that, and like I guess better my response to like reactions like that. So we're currently like working on that, and so that kind of leads me to point number 1 in terms of what I've been trying to do to help center myself and make myself feel better. So the first one, I feel like you might know, a lot of people talk about this all the time, but like meditation. And I know like some people like it, some people don't like it, but I feel like I need it. I feel like I need at least 10 minutes a day to kind of like be still for 1 second, focus on my breathing, and just like, observe what my thoughts are, what's coming up, what emotions are coming up, that sort of thing. So I have started reincorporating meditation into my weekly routine. But because it's not something that I've become accustomed to doing on a regular basis, I've just set myself a target of trying to meditate at least 3 times a week for 10 minutes. Well, not really 3 times a week, like 3 to 4 times a week, because I set the reminder for like once every 2 days. So once every 2 days, I have kind of just set myself a goal that, okay, we're going to sit for 10 minutes. Even if it's before bed, we are going to breathe and we're going to observe our thoughts, and we're going to take it from there. So I find that it's been helping me remain somewhat calm for the most part, and I can't wait to see like how many more results stem from something like that. I just feel like I need to learn how to breathe and how to like observe my mind. And also like sometimes when I experience those sorts of like panic or like anxiety attacks, I don't always necessarily know like what frame of mind I'm in to kind of bring about that sort of reaction. Because I'm not really paying attention. I'm like looking absolutely everywhere, like I don't know. But if I can kind of like pay attention enough to kind of see what the patterns are leading up to that sort of reaction, I think it will definitely make a bit of a difference and will help me cope a lot better. So that was kind of like the first thing that I've been trying to reintroduce into my life, is just some meditation, some breathing, that sort of thing. So yeah. The second thing that I am working very tirelessly, no pun intended, to kind of fix and help and just like help in just making myself feel a lot better is getting better quality sleep. I feel like this year I have not been getting the sleep that I need. Like, even if I look at my stats, like, I'm getting less sleep than I was getting last year. It's, I don't want to say it's bad, because for some people maybe this is like normal, but if I look at my health stats, let's go see mindful minutes, time asleep. Let's see. In 2024, just for context, on average, I was getting 7 hours and 37 minutes of sleep. I am now averaging 6 hours and 41 minutes of sleep, which is not great because my goal is to aim for 7 hours and more, but I'm just not achieving that. And I'm just finding that, I don't know, I'm just like not hitting the marks. Like, I'm either getting into bed too late, or I'm not relaxing enough to like fully let my body to rest. So there are some things that we are trying to incorporate to try and help with this. So first and foremost, I'm really trying to get like all my chores done like as soon as I get home. Like, I'm testing this formula, I'm seeing if it works, but like chores in the sense that I need to get the dishes done and all of that shit, and that takes quite some time. Like, most times it would take me and my brother into like 9 o'clock to finish those chores. I'm trying to get them done like before 8:30. And then if I know that I'm showering between 8:30 to like 9 o'clock and I'm in bed by 9 and doing all of my cute skincare things, and it's all good. And that in itself is like a little bit of a nice practice to help relax me as much as possible. But what was I saying? So yeah, I'm literally just trying to make sure that I get everything that I need to get done like before 8:30, and then from 8:30 onwards it's all about relaxation, chilling, mellowing out, and really kicking it. And the most important thing I feel like is what I'm actually doing before bed. So I'm really trying as much as possible not to be on my phone watching YouTube as I fall asleep. Like, yes, there's actually like some nights where I feel like I need it, but like now I've stopped like watching any like random YouTube video before bed. Like, for example, like I do love a little reaction video to like movies and stuff like that, but I'm trying to put those like that type of content like while I'm washing dishes or something along those lines. And then before bed, if I absolutely feel like I need something to help me fall asleep, it's an ASMR video now. I mean, that slightly changes on the weekends because sometimes I just pass out for the sake of passing out to anything and everything, but I'm more intentional, trying to be more intentional during the week on like what am I consuming before bed. Like, it has to be something that's relaxing, something that's positive, something that's chill, because otherwise I feel like that kind of distorts my sleep. And what I've been trying to do is, it's just ever since I got this new Garmin watch, it's been telling me that my quality of sleep is terrible. So now I'm trying to kind of test and see like what activities contribute to me having a higher score versus like a lower score. You know what I mean? So now every single night I look at, like when I get up, I look at my sleep score. I see how much REM I got in. I see like if I was moving around, if I was restless, like what was the vibes. And then I kind of try and like take note of what was I doing before bed that might have contributed to a good or bad like sleep. Like for the one night, I know that my score was really bad because like there was a bat in my parents' room, and that in itself was like quite stressful, and I feel like we only really resolved that whole thing like late in the evening. So when I woke up, my sleep score was terrible, and it was because I was like running around trying to fetch things, trying to help my dad catch this damn bat, and I still don't even know if it's in the house or not. But that in itself, like just looking at that sleep score really helps in terms of like understanding like where we're at. Yes, there's always like a margin for error. And I also want to just rely on how I feel as well. Like if the watch is telling me like you got a really bad like sleep in, but I'm feeling absolutely great, I feel like I'm more inclined to believe how I feel. But for the most part, it's pretty accurate. And looking at my list of activities that I do before bed, it kind of makes sense. So with that all being said, we've said that, okay, I'm trying to listen to like ASMR calming content before I go to bed. Another thing that I feel like has been helping me feel sleepy in a nice way before bed is I've been obsessed. Okay, so context. I want to say like, was it like late December or early Jan? It might have been early Jan. I got this LED face mask. And I've been obsessed with the idea of incorporating that into my general skincare, because I'm just finding that like whenever I break out, like during my period, I get these cute little, not scars, but these cute little marks from where the pimples have been. And I just feel like they weren't fading fast enough. So I was like, I really want like some light therapy that I can do at home. And I found this mask and it was on special. So I was like, okay, bet, I'm buying it. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun and all of that. So ever since I purchased it, like every single night, I try at least put on like some red light and some orange light. And I feel like the orange light calms me down so much. Like I just feel like I'm ready. Like there's been moments where I've fallen asleep with this mask on my face because it's just like so fabulous. So I've started incorporating that into my routine, and I feel like it does like calm me down, and it kind of tells my brain that, okay, we're putting this mask on. It means relaxation, which means we're going to bed soon and very soon. So like, let's woosah, let's take a moment and let's go to bed and all of that. So yeah, that in itself has been really fabulous, and I'm just really trying to do that as much as possible. And then we mentioned the meditation. I'm trying to do that too. And where I can, where it's possible, this one is a little bit tricky, but also the whole journaling aspect. So for me, journaling, I do like audio journaling almost every single day on my way into work. That's where I do my mindful morning practices. That is where I just reflect on anything that's like heavy on my heart that I feel like I need to release out into the world. Because sometimes it's easier to just express how I feel like audibly when it's just me and me. And I feel like I am being heard and I'm giving a voice to whatever it is that I'm concerned about. Because at the end of the day, it's all about like addressing how you feel. And I'm trying to be more mindful about addressing how I feel as well, and being so honest with myself in terms of my emotions and what's going on internally, because like I feel like that also could potentially lead to me just blowing up on people when I don't need to blow up on people. But yeah, so emotional regulation has also become like a huge part of my 2025. Like aside from hopefully at some point going back to therapy, I just want to develop a really strong sense of knowing how I'm feeling about certain things. And yes, there'll always be like a little blind side or some shit on the side, but for the most part, I want to be very content with how I feel about certain things, or not content. I just want to be like in the know of how I'm feeling. And also I want to be very good at vocalizing those feelings, not only to myself but other people. That's always still going to be a work in progress, but it's okay, it's fine. Then the next thing that I find has been really, really nice, it's been such a game changer, is I've become really obsessed with reading lately. Like, it's just come back into full circulation. I've mentioned this, I think, in my previous podcast episode. But reading before bed has become my favorite thing to do. And I think I'm just going to keep doing it, honestly. So, last month, I read 2 books. And I said I was going to do a podcast episode on it, but we'll get back to it. But now I am reading a new book. So in celebration of it being the month of love, I just figured I'd love to do like a self-development type book. I don't also want to like drown myself in too much self-development, but sometimes it's just really nice. It's really cool. But I've picked up a book called How to Do the Work, Recognize Your Patterns, Heal from Your Past, and Create Yourself by Dr. Nicole LePera, who is known as the holistic psychologist. And it has been very interesting reading her work. And I'm just really excited to get through it and work through it, because her book also has like these journaling prompts just to kind of like jog your brain to kind of understand why you react in certain ways towards certain things. And it's about, in some ways, like casting your mind back into your childhood to understand if there's been any traumas. And it doesn't have to be as hectic as, like, for example, like being abused as a child or being in some sort of accident, something along those lines. But it's about identifying the traumas in our life that have shaped the way in which we respond to certain things or how we see certain things. And it's just been a very interesting read so far. Like, yesterday I went to a cafe and I went with the book, and literally I was like zoned in, like making note of absolutely everything. Granted, I didn't have my journal with me to like, journal the shit, but it was really, really nice. And it's just such a really interesting book, and I feel like I'm going to unpack it later on once I've finished reading it. But I think sometimes like immersing yourself in, it doesn't have to be self-help books, but immersing yourself in like literature that really like challenges your brain in some way, or like helps you feel entertained or whatever, really, like, I don't know, it does something to the spirit. And if you're not a big reader, that's okay. Like, there are audiobooks that are out there, and that is also just such a vibe. Like, I feel like it's such a nice shift from me watching some random YouTuber talk about some random movie. It's like a nice shift. And I feel like me doing something different is going to help unlock other activities that are different. For example, like, it could be reading today, and tomorrow in the afternoons I could become a serial painter. Like, we don't know. We can only put the good vibes out there. So that in itself has also been really great. It's just like immersing myself in some different content, because again, I think content and the type of content that you do consume on a regular basis has a huge impact on like how you feel, like physically, like emotionally. If you're listening to good shit that's like uplifting and feels great, like, I feel like that kind of impacts like how you feel and how you go about your day in general. And I just think for the longest time I've been absorbing content that's like mundane and stale, and no hate to the YouTubers I watch, just by the way, but like, it's just like mind-numbing content. So I feel like for the most part my mind has been numb. And there's nothing wrong with watching content that is mind-numbing, but it's a problem when it becomes like hours and hours and hours of it that you're consuming on a regular basis. Like, we need to have some sort of discipline in terms of like what we are absorbing. So for me, I think reading is like a different way of finding ways to like occupy my mind, and make me feel some sort of like relaxation. So yeah, now instead of picking up my phone to watch YouTube, I am picking up books, and it's exciting. So my favorite thing right now is like every month I literally go into the bookstore and I'm like, oh, what am I gonna read next? What's next on the horizon? But yeah, low-key an expensive habit, but I think it's really cool and it's well worth it. And yeah, Then I think I'll just do the last one, and maybe we can do a part 2 later on, because this has been going on for so long. But the last one is also just to move your body. Like, I can't emphasize this enough. Like, have been feeling the effects of not moving my body this whole week. I feel like it's just been so busy and so, like, cray-cray in a sense. And I just haven't had a chance to go to the gym and actually be in my body and feel my muscles working and all of that. And like, it hurts me when I'm not able to do that on a regular basis, especially because like I feel like my routine has been messed up a little bit. Like, because I feel like I'm going to bed later, I'm waking up later, and then I'm going to go to the gym later. So it's just like a knock-on effect on absolutely everything. But this is a new week. I am really hoping that I'm able to just like change things and go when I need to go, and actually start like reaching my goals from a gym perspective. Because also that, like, just after the holidays, that took a bit of a dip. Like, something that was so easy for me last year to like go to the gym 4 times like has become so difficult, and I just need to get back into the swing of it and just like really feel into my body as well. But yeah, what was I gonna say about movement as well? Oh, the one thing that I stopped doing regularly was yoga. And honestly, yoga really is that girl, I will say. Last week, Monday, I went to a yoga class. I think it was last week, Monday. Yeah. I went to a yoga class, and it was just like such a fabulous experience. Like, I was feeling so great when I came back home. And I think I might have had the best sleep I've had in a long time after that yoga class. And one thing I can say is that back in 2022, I feel like that would have been an opportunity for me to have so many panic attacks. Yes, I had like days and stuff where I cried a lot because, like, you know, my team had kind of like left, and it was a lot to try and teach a new like manager like all the things, and still try and do my day job and do the job of like 3 people essentially. That was like a really hard time. And I was going to yoga on a consistent basis. Yes, I was coming home like really late, but I remember my friend and I used to go to yoga. We used to have like a cute little like evening of it, and it was great. It was fun. I got to be in my body, and like I feel like it helped center me a lot. And my reaction to that whole situation could have been a lot worse if I wasn't doing yoga on a regular basis. So I feel like now that I'm in a space whereby there's a little bit more support, and I'm trying to like exercise the creative juices a little bit, I do feel like I would love to introduce that back into my routine. Where, I don't know, we'll find a spot. I feel like Sundays are usually my day to do some sort of yoga, but like I'm not fully conscious in those moments for some reason. Also, I feel like I need new headphones. This is not an excuse to go purchase some AirPods, but genuinely, I'm really struggling with these headphones because they keep slipping off my head when I'm trying to do my downward dog, and I'm like, this isn't working anymore. Like, it's not cute. Like, I can't be downward dogging and the headphones are on the floor. Like, it makes no sense. So I just feel like there's a lot more opportunity for me to be intentional with to be present in the moment, to be in my body. So I want to incorporate that sort of movement at least like once a week into my routine. So I think the whole workout structure of mine needs to change a little bit, because the afternoons definitely need to be for chilling and relaxing. Mornings, if I start them early, that is for exercise, getting all the shit that I want to get in, like first thing in the morning, getting into the workday, and we're getting home. We're woosahing, we're relaxing, we're socializing, we're doing whatever it is that we need to do. Because by the time that end of day comes, like, I'm tired and I'm not going to give it my best unless I'm really angry and I need to go to the gym and like punch stuff. So, yeah, that's kind of like the vibes in terms of where we're at from like a feel perspective. Oh, and then I'll add in one like last one, a bonus one, which reminds me, I did not buy carrots and hummus. That has been like, I had that this week as a snack. It was delicious. I had the best time. But the reason why I'm mentioning the carrots and the hummus situation is because I went for a lymphatic drainage massage last week. My first one ever. It was so much, I want to say it was so much fun. It was really good. Like, I really enjoyed it. It's because, like, my girl, and why am I speaking like I know her? But my girl, Bria Jones, before she got preggers, she was just talking about like getting back into her body and feeling good in her body and feeling great in general. And she mentioned that a lymphatic drainage massage was one of the things that she was incorporating into her overall wellness routine, just to kind of drain the toxins from your body, feel good, and apparently helps with weight management, that sort of thing. So last week I was really like struggling in the sense of I was like, I just need someone to like pull my body. If that makes it sounds so weird. Like, I need someone to just get into like my like, I need someone to get into my body and like remove these knots or something. And I remember I was like trying to find like, there's this one place that I like to go that do like massages for a reasonable amount, and they've got like really great packages for like 2 hours and stuff. And there was literally not a single appointment in sight, and so I was feeling really disappointed by that. But thankfully I was doing a little bit of like looking around, and this is one business that I used to go to in my neighborhood, and they like changed location, like, ooh, not me dropping my phone. They changed location and they like rebranded. And so I was looking through their offerings, which were like slightly tweaked from what they initially were. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go there. They've got a lymphatic drainage massage. Like, I have hope. So I get there, and this woman is so lovely. She is like telling me why, you know, she's doing certain things. She's like, I'm lifting your hand because like, you know, the toxins or whatever, I'm really bad. Like, the terminology is really bad here. Like, I'm not that clued up on it. But she was basically moving all of like the toxins and all of the stuff into the nodes so that it can be flushed out properly through the body. And she was just absolutely amazing. And after, like, her and I were just chatting, and she was just on some, like, yeah, your nutrition needs to be better if you want to feel more energized, because she apparently is also a nutritionist. So she was telling me absolutely everything that I should be eating. She was like, oof, if you're feeling a bit tired in the evening or the afternoons or whatever, include some protein in your diet. Maybe, like, that's what your body needs. So, like, I've been for the past week like buying those little packs of like biltong and stuff. Like I mentioned, like the carrots and hummus were a really nice snack. And I'm just trying to get back into my healthy eating bag, because I feel like she's been lost in the sauce. I'm probably like doing okay, but like I feel like I could be a lot better. I feel like my body right now internally, like physically, is being neglected slightly, and I don't like that. I need to feel my absolute best so I can look my absolute best. But yeah, I think we're slowly but surely getting there. But my main concern is just getting the sleep part down. And I will, Shame. I really will. Like, I'm gonna start tonight. I think I'm gonna take a bubble bath. That might help me feel a little bit more relaxed before I go into bed. But yeah, those are sort of like my tips and tricks for relaxing, calming down, that sort of vibe. and just bouncing back from like really stressful times, essentially. I hope that it helped, and I hope that it gave you a little bit of perspective if you like suffer from any of the things that I'm suffering from. And yeah, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you listening. And we'll do this all again next week. Thank you for being here. Sending you lots of love and light. And don't forget, everything that you do in this life, do it with love and a sprinkle of magic. Okay, bye.